Why, hello there. In my Tabitha Brown voice. Welcome to another episode of Imperfect Peace. I am your girl, Queen Priestess Iris Rose here, also known as Monze Swarmo. And I know you guys are used to seeing more than just me on the screen, and we'll get to that. But Nyla's chair is become a rotating chair for the time being, and so we do have a special guest today. We do. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get it going. Let's go. As I mentioned, we have a new guest this week. You know, Nyla's chair is revolving. So Nyla and I had been mentioning her, and we haven't necessarily said her name, but we have been mentioning her in different podcast episodes. And so now I'm really excited because she's in the rotating chair. My astrology personnel, okay? Miss Asha Bailey, hey girl.
Hello.
How are you? I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here.
All right. Well, Asha knows how everything goes, and so do you guys. So let's go ahead and welcome in our ancestors with our tea light candles. Let's go ahead and light them. Ready?
Yep.
All right. Yes. Okay. They in the building. And now it's time for happy hour A. Happy hour A. All right, Asha, since you are my guest, I'm gonna let you go ahead and go first. So, what is your happy hour this week, girlie?
So this week I have been making a lot of breakthroughs this week. Just really getting my meditation right, getting my routine down, stuff like that. I've been pretty proud of myself.
Yeah.
Setting boundaries.
I love that. I know that's right, because meditation can be hard to get into, like so many distractions. Okay, so I think my happy hour this week, it's just been a really, really good week. It's been real productive. It's been a really good week. My birthday was amazing. So I think that is my happy hour. Like, it's just been, everything's been smooth sailing. Everything has been lighthearted. Like, it's just been really fun. So that's my happy hour this week. All right, girl, you ready to take your shot, girl? You ready to take your shot?
Look, we on H2 up that.
All right, that's right. Who Don Julio was talking to me today? Okay. All right, you guys. So, I brought Asha on today because I really feel like it was fitting, because by the time this airs, Mercury is going to be direct, so we won't be in Mercury retrograde anymore. But with her being like I said, my resident astrologer, I thought it would be fitting to have her on so that she could speak about exactly what we can expect in the energy to come. Because girl, when I tell you the last piece of retrograde, okay, it like cooked with the tea, me, okay, like I was so drained and so lethargic, and I had no energy, and I thought it was my birthday because it was my birthday and I had did so much. But no, it was that damn retrograde, like towards the end. And so, like, when I tell you sleeping nonstop, like I slept like a whole 2 days. So I'm like, yo, like retrograde has got to go. So now that it's listening, it's gone. Tell us how the energy, because I know we're still in like pre-shadow phase?
Post-shadow.
Post-shadow phase. Pre-shadow is before. Post-shadow phase. So we're still going to feel the remnants and the effects of Mercury retrograde. But can you tell us like what else we should expect?
Yeah. So, of course, during this Mercury retrograde, there was a lot of reflecting on current and previous relationships that we had with different people. It could be in the form of friendships, co-workers, relationships that you had intimately with someone. Some people had some relationships end recently during this retrograde as well. So going forward, now that he kind of moved back into his own sign of Virgo during the retrograde, it's basically now everybody's fine tuning their routine. If you had any job interviews during the retrograde, now will be a really good time to embark on taking up the offer for that position. Making sure that you read over the contract very well before you sign it, of course. So this post-shadow phase is a really good time to sit back and really take everything into consideration. Like, it's kind of like when your mom tells you to wake up because you're about to be late. That's the kind of energy that we're under right now. Like, retrograde is when the planet is slowing down. That's why we're sleeping so much, because it's a time to rejuvenate ourselves, to really.
I'm not crazy.
No, you're not crazy. It's a good thing. Like, we have to slow down. Like, that's what it's about. Like, Mercury is that planet of communication and thinking. It also has a lot to do with traveling. So, yeah, I have to be careful out there.
But you know what? It's crazy that I'm just now thinking about this, but I mean, it makes sense how it affects me, because Virgo is associated with Mercury. So that really makes sense of like how it affected me. So I get it. Yeah. I get it, Mercury. I get it. I needed to slow a little down, but I get it.
I know that your natal Mercury is actually retrograde in Libra, so you definitely benefited in ways from that, but you also felt the energy heavily. Yeah,
I benefited in a way of a lot of reflection, a lot of clarity. Oh my God, when I say clarity, crazy clarity. But I felt like there was an equal exchange of, okay, we're gonna give you this clarity, but we're gonna knock your ass out. Yeah. So that's what, my Mercury retrograde has been. But it's been a really, really good Mercury retrograde. Like, usually I struggle sometimes during Mercury retrograde, but I really feel like I've ascended to such a level for myself where it's like, okay, you're cool this time. Like, you're good. We're gonna, have you reflect on some things, but we're gonna knock you out.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff has been happening in my dreams, which is really, really cool too. Because I remember like my dreams and stuff, like a lot of that stuff, like dream recall and stuff, is been like getting really strong. So that makes a lot of sense. So so with Mercury being in retrograde or whatever, we had 5 other planets in retrograde at the same time. So how was that? Like, are we coming out? I know we're coming out of retrograde in like Jupiter and like Saturn and stuff. Like, stuff is slowly coming out.
Pluto will be coming out of retrograde.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Pluto.
Yeah. Yes. So like with the Pluto retrograde, Pluto is that planet about transformation, but it's also personal power. So a lot of people were going through that, reclaiming their power as well, and really going through the challenges that may come with that, where we may doubt ourselves or we feel like we're being too intense about things. And it's like, no, because with it being in Capricorn, it's a very grounding energy. So we're being able to see things a little bit clearer than what we probably would if it were in a water sign or in an air sign. So with that being like that, and of course with Pluto energy, because it is a water planet, a lot of psychic things, even if it is in the earth sign of Capricorn, it's still a psychic energy. So a lot of us are going within ourselves and really pulling that transformative energy out. And this can transform you in your career field as well, because that's what Capricorn represents. And also
they're gonna work now.
Oh yeah, so
they're gonna work. That is so okay. So with Pluto coming out of retrograde, and you said it gives us like basically like I kind of like associate it with like my work ethic, because like Pluto makes me really focus on my work ethic. So is that going to be like more intensified now that it's coming out of retrograde, or is that going to slow down for me? Because
it will probably more than likely intensify. Like, probably what you were dealing with was reflecting on how you go about your work ethic. Like, is what I'm doing actually contributing to this widespread community that I want to be a part of?
Right.
Or, how is this going to affect me in the long run? Because Pluto or Capricorn is all about your long-term career. This isn't how you go about making your money. This is the impact on where you're going in your life. So
it's like more purpose-driven.
Yeah.
Okay, because I have seen a lot of purposeful energy as far as like my career goes.
Yep.
I unfortunately I have kind of like checked out of my 9 to 5, and I'm more so checked into my passion and what my purpose-driven career is. So I can definitely understand that. That makes sense to me. That makes so much sense.
And one of the challenges with this Pluto retrograde in Capricorn is letting go career structures. A lot of people, like you said, you're letting go of the 9 to 5 and you're focusing more on your passions. For some people, that may be a challenge for them because they feel like, I don't have enough money to quit this job to chase after my passion. But Spirit is like, you have to look around and see that you have money all around you. So, you know, in the manner of, you know, physical things that you may have in your house, you can sell some stuff. You can, you know, use your card of Uber, you know.
It's so crazy that you said that, because I had gone through a phase where I was like, okay, fuck this shit, right? I was like, fuck this job, like fuck this shit, I don't care. And then it turned around to, okay, well, even if I say fuck this shit, I kind of like scared myself a little bit, because I'm like, okay, well, I can't say fuck this shit because I need this job, right? But then Spirit was like, no, the fuck you don't. Like, you do not need that shit. You are talented enough. You are certified in lash tech. Like, you have talent that you can sit on, you know, that you're just sitting on, period. Like, you're sitting on that you can, like, move and make shit shake. So you technically don't need that. And so I really feel like this energy is, for me right now, feeling it is a really empowering energy. So between Mercury retrograde and it going in direct or coming direct, and Pluto going direct, like I feel like I'm a bad bitch. Like,
yeah, you are understanding. You have taken the time out to really understand yourself. You're really, and also delving into that shadow side of yourself as well, because Pluto kind of makes us go into the shadowy depths of ourselves. It's like,
make us go there.
Right. And I mean, it rules over Scorpio. I'm a Pluto Scorpio generation. So we're very deep people. We have a lot of depth to ourselves in this generation, where we, like, you know, pull what you had underneath that rug. Let me see what's up underneath there.
Yes,
you know?
y'all do.
So
yes, y'all do.
Don't have time for the BS. It's like, listen, what you got going on? Let me see what's going on. I think put some light on this real fast, you know. So that Pluto energy is like, yeah, own your power, own that shadow side of yourself. Because one of the things I've noticed during this Pluto Capricorn retrograde is that I've been focusing more on doing shadow work, really understanding and owning my shadow, and being able to integrate that part of myself into what I show other people. And it has been a very liberating feeling, I'm not gonna lie. So
yeah, like, y'all, when I tell y'all, she is so amazing. Like, every time I have a question about something, like, or how something is going to affect me, like, she's on it, like on it. Okay, so I kind of jumped the gun, I kind of jumped into it, but I want to kind of take a step back real quick. So what is astrology to you? What is it like? Because people have certain preconceptions of astrology, but it's most of the time it's not accurate. So what is astrology to you?
Well, for me, it's definitely a tool that helps me, one, understand myself better, understand why I react a certain way. I definitely use it to figure out, okay, why I feel this way today, why, you know, things like that. And it's just one of those things that I would definitely say that knowing your birth chart, knowing astrology is a really good way to help with the shadow work as well, because you can find those areas in your life where you're like, okay, now I understand why this is doing this and why I do that, and how you can work with those energies. A lot of people tend to shy away from like the hard aspects that planets make toward each other in the chart, but I'm like, they're really there to help us grow and develop ourselves. And that's one of the ways I use astrology, is to help grow and develop myself. And then when I do charts for other people, it helps them to understand themselves better. I've even, you know, seen people that were a little on the fence about where their career was headed. They were like, I don't know what I want to do. I know I want to do this, but I don't know if I'm on the right path. After doing their charts, they're like, thank you, I finally they're like, that's
it clicks, I get it.
Yeah, so for me, it's like, it's a really good way of me, for me as someone who always grew up being misunderstood, it helps me to understand other people, because it's like, you know, other people may walk around feeling misunderstood as well. And it's like, hey, I can help you understand yourself because I can understand you for you. And then they're like, thank you.
I love that. Okay, so that, I mean, that makes so much sense. Like, so I've always thought of astrology, and that's not to say that any definition is wrong of astrology, but I've always thought of astrology, like you stated, like it's the study of like the planets and the energies that the planets give off, and like your natal chart, your birth chart, like all of that is in the wonderful world of astrology, right? So what I think some people don't understand is that astrology is one facet of spirituality. And everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people, especially when they're first starting on their journey, they try to jump into astrology and my sun, my moon, my rising is this, and this, that, and the third. And then when they really realize that, you know, astrology is like this broad ass, like, boom, like I don't even know how to like really describe it. It's like its own monster. Like astrology is, and you have to have a deep understanding of what you're looking at. Like I don't really, I get the houses and stuff, but I don't, you know what I'm saying? So there's like, I understand for me that astrology is not my strong suit, and that's maybe not something that I need to delve into, but that is your strong suit, you know what I'm saying? So you dive into it and you love it, like you are bomb as fuck at it, like child. Okay, I'm here like, okay, this house is wet, and then you wear it. Okay. So this is it. So how you figure this house? So you be like, no, because your Mercury is in this house and this, that, and the third. You be blowing my mind, okay? All right,
it's like definitely, it's an art, it's a language, it's a science, it's a math. Like if you are one of those people like, math ain't my strong suit, you got to learn your geometry. You got to understand what the angles mean, what the, you know, the degrees and everything like that. So some people, that's why a lot of people struggle, because it's like, what the hell? Like it's a language. It's the language of the universe itself. So
it's definitely a different language, but it's one that is just like super intriguing to me. But I don't think it's going to be like one of those things where I love astrology because I understand the signs, like the horoscopes and stuff. I understand those. So for me to try to understand the signs and how they relate to the planets, and then like how everything gets affected when it's like in retrograde, like I'm enjoying learning that. But it's not something that I'm looking to use as, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not looking to read birth charts. Like, y'all go to her. Like, I'm not looking to do that. You know what I'm saying? But it's interesting to me because it's just so, like, there's so much to it. It's in depth. And I know, like, the degrees, they mean a lot. But, girl, I can't do that. I can't.
Yeah.
So, okay, so since we were talking along the lines of birth charts, you know, I'm a little afraid.
Yeah.
But y'all, I really want her to showcase her talents, and I really want you guys to see, like, she reads the fuck out of birth charts. So I have agreed, and I told y'all I was going to start being more vulnerable. I have agreed to allow her to read my birth chart.
We're only going to do a couple planets. We ain't going to go too far into it.
Okay, good.
Because I can't see what your houses are, I can only just explain how the planet is expressing itself in that particular zodiac sign. Now, I do use degree theory, which is a very simple concept once you understand it. All it is understanding house placements, the house rulership based on the zodiac sign that rules the houses. So, of course, the first house is ruled by Aries, 12th house is ruled by Pisces. So you're going to go in that particular order. As you come back around, it just repeats itself. So 13 degree is Aries, so on and so forth, 25. So it's like that. So your sun is, of course, in Virgo. We all know that you're a cusp baby. So that's why your sun was at 29 degrees. It was like literally almost Libra, about a minute away from being a Libra. So the 29 degree is known as an anaretic degree. But the thing about the 29 degree is that this energy may feel like it's rushed. So, you know, with Virgo energy, it's analytical, it's critical. It can be very organized, almost to a perfectionist level. So with this, you probably struggle with even though you don't claim Libra, you struggle with the being analytical, critical, but also trying to be balanced and harmonious in things that you do. It's like you're straddling the fence with your
big time, like big time. But you know what? And the keyword that you said that really struck out to me was rushed. And I always feel like I'm on like this time constraint. Like I'm on this thing and I have to get things done in a certain amount of time. I have to it's like I'm always on go. Like I'm always rushing to do something. And so I understand that. So that makes okay.
So oftentimes, and because it's the sun, it's the way you express yourself. So oftentimes, you probably are like, oh my God, I have to hurry up and get this done. And you may miss a couple of steps because of it. So it would be beneficial to kind of work a little bit with that Libra energy to keep yourself balanced in your matters that you deal with, especially the perfectionism energy. Use that balance to be okay, I understand, I'm perfect in these ways, but in these areas, not so much. So I'm not going to put so much emphasis on the things that I know I'm perfect at. I'm going to really work hard on these things that I want to perfect in myself. So that way it can come off a little bit better to other people, because even then other people may feel like you're rushing them and they're like, slow down, bro.
I can see that, because my son has said that when I clean and I ask him to do something, he's like, you want it done when you want it done. It just don't work like that for everybody. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
And the sun also represents your father. So
yes,
your father
yes,
the same way.
Yep.
He's a pastor, so he's probably like, hey, let's get it together. You know, your dad was probably that dad that rushed you a lot when you were a kid. You need to hurry to do this, or you need to hurry to get this done, because I don't have time for this type energy. So.
And he is an Aries, so he's all action.
Yep.
So that makes so much sense. I'm about to tell him, I'm gonna call him up and be like, Daddy, you kind of bruh. But no, it makes so much sense, because everybody says they're you are such his junior. You are his junior for real. And I couldn't understand it, but now that you've explained it to me astrologically, it makes a lot of sense.
Because Aries energy is very impulsive. They kind of jump in without looking. And so it was kind of as a child growing up, he probably energetically was dragging you along, let's go, we gotta get this done. And you were like, wait, but I wasn't ready yet. I was trying to get this prepared. And you never really had a childhood where you could properly prepare yourself for a lot of time. So then with the moon, this is our inner emotions. The moon also represents the type of relationship with your mother as well. So your moon is in Cancer, and it's at the 9 degree, which is Sagittarius degree. So your mom may have been someone that she was nurturing, of course, and you're a nurturing person as well, but spirituality and higher education may have been something that she probably made you want to focus on the most. This is probably why you took the spiritual path, and that you have this, nurturing nature about yourself, even with your son. Eventually going forward, you will move him into that space of spirituality to show him how it's done and things like that. But since it's in a Sagittarius degree, this also speaks to higher education. So you're also your mom probably put a lot of emphasis on, you're not just gonna finish high school, you're gonna go to college and you're gonna do this.
And I'm lady, give it up, lady.
Yeah, and with this energy too, you may find yourself wanting to live in a foreign country as well, because Sagittarius also deals with foreign travel and foreign countries, meeting people of other cultures and learning about their cultures as well. I feel like you may nurture yourself in those manners. And of course, moon is ruled by Cancer, or so this is at home for you. So I feel like to make you feel good within yourself, to make you feel nurtured within, to have those emotions of I feel like I'm at home, you may just end up living overseas at some point in your life, or you may have a place overseas that you can go on vacation to from time to time when you feel like it. You like, listen, I need to go in.
You know what's funny is that just yesterday, Hannah and I were talking, and I was telling her, I was like, yo, like, my permanent home is not going to be in the States. It's going to be in somewhere tropical. It's going to be like some Caribbean type of situation, but my home is not going to be in the States. And she kind of looked at me funny, and I was like, sis, like, I'm telling you, like, I'll do like a vacation home or something in the States, but like my primary residence is not going to be in the States. And she was like, I don't know. And I'm just like, I'm telling you. So for you to say that shit, and it happened like literally yesterday. So for you to say that is, I'm so much alignment. Like it's almost scary, because it's like, I feel like it's come, like it's literally on my, like it's on my neck.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally there now. Yeah. But I do have a question, because I'm realizing that I'm real cuspy. So not only am I cuspy in my sun, but I'm cuspy in my moon too. So does that like have an effect on just me, period? Like being like super cuspy? Like I'm cuspy as fuck.
In a way, like your moon isn't too far into, like, it's like with the cusp energy, like I said, because with your sun, it is one of those ones where you're kind of confused about the energy that you give off. That's why it's called an anaretic degree. It's a critical degree where oftentimes, like me personally, I'm a 28 degree Libra sun. I'm 2 degrees off from being a Scorpio. Yeah. And oftentimes I can feel myself slip into that Scorpio energy, and that Libra scale kind of pull me back, like, wait, come over here. But knowing like the history between Scorpio and Libra, like the other side of the scale was the Scorpion's tail. So it's like, I sting your ass, don't play with me.
Gotcha. Okay, so, that makes so much sense. All right. Yeah, so like, I was like, damn, like I'm sitting over here like, fuck, like she just said like Cancer, but cuspy Sagittarius. I'm like, damn, am I like really that cuspy? But that's so okay.
Because the way with the degree theory works, it is the degree is the underlying energy of the zodiac sign that the planet is in. So this is like an extra layer of that energy. Like, yeah, I'm nurturing.
Now you see why I said astrology is a whole monster. Astrology is seriously a whole monster, because it's like you got like, you know how Shrek be like, I got layers. Like ogre's got layers. Like that's astrology. Like astrology is like an onion. Like that shit got layers and layers
like
and layers.
It's like it'd be like, open yourself up to more people. You pull back one layer. Nope, it's another peel underneath there. Sorry.
But okay. So keep going. All
right. So with
one or two more planets. So we're not gonna
we don't tell, but we gonna, like I said before, your natal Mercury was retrograde in Libra. When a planet is retrograde in the chart, this energy can be more expressed inwardly than it is outwardly. So
I did go inward a lot.
Yeah. So a lot of times when, and it's also 4 degrees. This is the Cancer degree. So oftentimes.
Is that why I was so emotional? Like I was emotional as hell. Like I cried this morning, girl.
Like you may get a little, like when you're communicating with somebody, you more so have, it's balanced. It's, you know, you come off in an eloquent, graceful, charming manner, but it also has a hint of, you know, motherly tone to it. So some people may feel like, oh, why is she acting like she my mama? I'm not really trying to act like your mother. It's just, this is how I express myself. Yeah. And so with that energy being inward, sometimes you probably have like these inner conversations with yourself. Like you probably have the argument in the mirror before you actually have the argument with the person. Like you probably sit at home and be like, listen, this is what I'm gonna say. If they come at me with this, I'm gonna say it this way.
I do. I'm not even gonna lie. I do. Yeah. That's like when I say 100% accurate, that I do.
Yes. And you like, you know, you probably have an inner dialogue when you're having, like if somebody's having a conversation with you, you're probably already weighing the conversation. You feel like, listen, I ain't gonna deal with this shit. I'm about to get my ass up right after this to leave. Yes. I don't have time. This person don't even know they finna get cut off today. Like,
yes. Like, sis, you have no idea. Like you have like they sit here and I'm like, girl, I know you lying because I just saw you last week and that was not it. Like I be all in it, and then like I thought that was like a Virgo thing. But it's like to me it's like a Virgo, Cancer, Libra mix.
Yeah.
You know, like but yeah, that's me all the way. Like I will argue in the mirror before I have the conversation with somebody else. Because I'm like, I need to make sure that I get what I want out. Like I gotta make sure I say what I gotta say. And sometimes it doesn't work that way because I do end up slipping into that nurturing side, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe I was a little too harsh. Like maybe when I was thinking about it and I was arguing myself in my head, you know what I'm saying, I was just a little too harsh. So let me dial it back. And then you know, so
and it's just the Libra
way it helps.
Yeah, and that Libra energy, it helps with giving you perspective on the other person's side of it. Like that's one of the things I love about being a Libra is that we can see things from various perspectives. We don't just see it from our side. We see it from everybody. And then we make that's why they say, oh, you guys are indecisive. No, we just see things from every angle. And we just tend to make our decisions based on what we have deduced out of what we've seen. Right. So especially like with your Mercury being in Libra, it's like, you have a lot of times where you reflect on the friendships that you have and whether or not you're being nurturing in your friendships and whether they're reciprocating that energy as well, because it's all about that balance. It's like, listen, if I'm going to be open with you, I expect the same thing. And you have a tendency to see things from both perspectives when it comes. And it's even with this makes you a very intelligent person as well. It's an air sign. And Mercury is that planet of thinking and learning. So when you were a child, you probably also had, your note taking is probably aesthetic as hell. Like you take glitter gel pens, markers.
Like when I say highlighter is like color coded everything. Yeah. Like literally everything. Mm-hmm. And I was always in advanced placement courses and stuff in school. I was always accelerated. It was just like I was very studious. So, and still to this day, I'm very studious. Like when I show you my tarot notes, like you're gonna be like, girl, you really sat here and did all that. Like I pulled out the numerology, the astrology, and
it's all quality and charts, and it's all pretty and got little decorations all over it because Libra is a sign of aesthetics. Like being around things like. Even then that stimulates you mentally. Like you are a visual person. So it's like, when things like you're probably one of those people like, ooh, I want this. I just want this because it looks pretty. So it's one of those.
I'm like, oh, this is so cute.
Right. Like you probably choose tarot decks or your cards based on the aesthetic of the card. It's like, okay, I understand that deck may be powerful, but these are too cute to pass up on. So, you probably...
That's me.
And also Mercury represents like the relationship you have with your siblings. Now, I don't know if you have siblings, but there may have been like a pretty easy, balanced relationship as well with them. But, even then, like being able to see from your siblings aspects, like if your parents were yelling at them, you could probably understand like why your sibling did what they did and be like empathizing with them. Like, don't be yelling at them, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. I used to always stick up for my brother. Like, Dad, like, you doing too much. Like, you too hard on him. Like, I used to always stick up for my brother. And me and my brother was like that. But it was crazy because, like, when me and my brother was like that, I really don't remember my sister being around too much. Yeah. So, like, I was always underneath my brother. And when I was underneath my brother, I don't remember, like, my sister too much. But, however, when I was underneath my sister, and it would teeter. Like, it would go, like, from birth to like 8, I was underneath my sister. From 8 to like 16, I was underneath my brother. From 16, and this is literal, like from 16 to 22, it was my sister. And then I kind of started gradually, going into myself, and you know what I'm saying? But that makes so much sense. So I understand
relationship with your siblings. Yeah. Yep. So the last one I want to touch on is Venus and Scorpio. Hey, girl, hey, that's my placement too.
Am I a freak because my Venus is in Scorpio? Or my Scorpio? How do I say that? If my Venus is in Scorpio or my Scorpio is in Venus? Like, is that interchangeable?
your Venus is in Scorpio. You could say I'm a Scorpio Venus or I'm a Venus Scorpio. Okay. And it's 12 degrees, so this is the Pisces degree. This is also
like super cuspy. Like, what is this?
Yeah, this is, and with the Pisces degree, like, of course, this is actually a psychic placement too. Anytime you have any type of water placements in your chart, doesn't matter what planet it is in, it does point to psychic abilities, psychic gifts. And with Venus being here, now the thing about Venus and Scorpio, we can be a little obsessive with our, love interest, things like that. But we also expect our love interest to be obsessed over us at times as well. But we can also be like, leave me alone after I get my little attention. Leave me alone. Go on over there somewhere.
Yes.
With it being in the Piscean degree, like the way you receive love, because this is what Venus is about, how we give love, how we receive love, how we place value on ourselves. Venus is also one of the places in the chart that shows how you dress yourself. So you probably have a knack for like long flowy clothing, that flows like water when you walk, like, so I wear stuff like that.
I love gowns.
Yes. My mom, they joke on me, girl, like you about to fly away. Well, if I do, honey. So.
Right. I love it. Like, I'm telling you. So yes, that is so spot on. Girl, when I tell you done read me, okay? Like, y'all, and when I tell y'all,
we're not
like,
even talking about the houses they fall in, like,
even. So now y'all got a little taste of what she does. Like, when I tell y'all, she is amazing. Please make sure that you guys reach out to her, book with her. Like, when I tell you, like, we didn't even really scratch this. When I tell you, she didn't even really scratch the surface here, because I already told her, I was like, look. I'm private now. Okay?
And that Venus and Scorpio is what makes you private. You're like,
yes.
And I'm the same way. I'm like, I don't need everybody knowing what I'm doing. I'm doing it when I'm doing it. You just gonna see it when I pop out, okay?
Thank you. So, but you have made so much sense. Like, you have made me understand myself so much. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's me. So if you really want to get out here and you really want to understand yourself, y'all, please book with her, because when I tell you, she can read you for y'all see what she just did, and she ain't even really struck you. Like, y'all. But that's all that we have for today, you guys. This has been an amazing episode. Asha, you are wonderful. Thank you so much.
I'm really glad to be on today. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And girl, I'm gonna have to get with you, because I need to book a reading with my birth chart, so we can really I understand me, but when you say the things that you said and like you really got into the chart, I'm like, fuck yeah, like that is seriously me. So I'm gonna have to get with you too, girl. But you guys, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Imperfect Peace. I appreciate y'all. I know Asha appreciates y'all, and I cannot wait to see what she comes out with next, y'all. This girl is amazing, and we didn't even touch on the fact that she's a fashion designer. So I'm gonna have to bring you back.
Yeah,
because you got a lot going on, honey.
Because I've been fusing that with astrology too. So
see what I mean, y'all. So we're definitely gonna have Asha on for another episode. But that was our episode today. I love you guys so much, and we will talk to y'all later.
Bye.